Really quick on marriage, though. So 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. 90% if she's college educated. 90% of child support payments go from men to women. 97% of alimony payments go from men to women. Thus, it's an L for, as a dude, just statistically speaking, look at the data, look at the stats, like it's not good for men. So my thing is, you never sign a contract with someone who is rewarded for breaking it. And women in today's day and age, if the guy's the breadwinner, they are rewarded by breaking the marriage contract. See, if you look at the vows of marriage, what do they say? They say, till death do us part. That has to mean something in today's day and age. But it ain't the case. If I do marry a girl, which I think is unlikely, I'd have to meet someone quite exceptional, it has to be till death do us part. There is no divorce. So like to me, like I'd have to be so certain. And even then, how many people get married and they're like, this, I'm sure this is going to work, and it doesn't. So even just off that alone, I'm not particularly inclined to go through with it. But your words have to mean something. Till death do us part has to mean something, and frankly, in today's day and age, it doesn't.
How can I grab more water? Is that okay?
Yeah, Eric, if you can grab her a little water, por favor. What's up? Oh, were you gonna cook, Kiara?
It's hard to dispute that.
Like
oh, whoops.
obviously, yeah, the evidence is there, but like let's not forget that. And I'm not saying all men in any sense, because even my own father would go against what I'm saying right now. But definitely it can end worse for a lot of men in most senses when it comes to divorce. But a lot of that is set with alimony and child support and all that stuff is because you get married, a lot of people, for what? To have kids, stuff like that. So there's kids involved. A lot of that is because, I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men, once they are divorced, they're like, all right, next life it is. So yeah, if you have 3 kids with somebody, obviously you're going to be, I would hope whoever I choose to marry, if it didn't work out in the end for us and I was the sole custodial parent of our kids, yeah, they should want to pay for my life if I'm raising their children.
Sure.
But that's the type of man I plan to marry.
So the alimony laws kind of initially were the social order, say 70 years ago, 80 years ago, 90 years ago, probably, I don't know when alimony laws, I mean, they've been around for hundreds of years. Alimony was because societally there was men worked, women stayed home, raised the kids, etc. Under those circumstances, if there were a divorce to occur, it's the logic makes sense that the man ought to support the woman because she forgoed pursuing a career to raise the children. But nowadays, if a woman has a career and she does have the means to be economically productive, should she still be owed alimony?
But is she even? I mean, if she's the breadwinner, she's not going to be getting alimony.
You're correct in that, but yeah.
And it's also like, I mean, I'm not saying they should have to do this, but like, why are men getting married then if they know that this is all these facts are in place? Because a prenup. Yeah, you know, like
prenups get thrown out, and a lot of men are blue pilled when it comes to.
Can you guys elaborate on this blue pill that
we don't have to go into that, but basically it's like this Disney idea. It's this Disney idea of romance that it's all gonna work out, and she's the one, and then happily ever after. However, you know, and I encourage all men who are watching this, go to your local courthouse and go watch the family court proceedings for a couple hours. Go do it maybe once a year, just to remind you, like the divorce proceedings, the child custody proceedings are the most. I had a litigation thing I was involved in, and it's just, you know, it's brutal. It's brutal, the divorce proceedings. You have, especially if there's a kid involved, it's honestly sad when there's kids involved. So I think marriage is an L. And the thing is that I'd say women disproportionately initiate divorce more often because divorce outcomes disproportionately favor women.
Marriage can be an L, but I feel like that standpoint or statement could be harmful in the sense too, where if not marriage being an L, I feel like in the generation or day and age we are now, is more people popping out kids without being married and stuff. Like, it's nothing. There's a lot of things that go into divorce, but I don't care what you say. A piece of paper is not going to be as much as flesh and blood that you're popping out together. So I don't know if it's a correlation between people being like, okay, I'm pregnant, let's get married, or, oh, I want to have kids, so let's get married because I want to do this the right way and not be judged. And then everyone's getting divorced 2 years later. Or people also nowadays, people think that having a child is going to save the relationship, which I would say is quite opposite. I've only seen people struggle more after a child is introduced. But I don't know. Marriage, I could see how there's L's, but I feel like having kids without being married or all that stuff is much more of an L.
I do need to just move it along just to move the show along.